Hello and welcome to the InkLights webinar. We're getting things started here. I'm just going to go over some logistics here. Hopefully you can see my screen. In the right hand of the screen, it shows the participants. I'm going to unmute the callers right now. If there's any questions or anything, please raise your hand. Is there anybody out there that can't hear the broadcast at this time? Okay, I just want to wait a little bit for the other participants to start joining. We have a diverse group. We're looking for about 50 people on the call today from across the country, from colleges like Rutgers, from St. Benedict's in Minneapolis, from Arizona State, from Clemson, from Pacific Union College, from Toledo, Ohio, from South Carolina, all across the country. I'm Patrick Falsfield. I'm located in Boston, Massachusetts. Actually, Braintree, Massachusetts is south of Boston. And I'd like to spend 15 minutes going through the basics, and then I'd like your feedback with any questions, because this is something new, it's something different, and your feedback is important. So don't be afraid to take your phone off and mute. And pipe in at any time. So to get started here, InkLights is basically custom printed LED lighting. You can print anything you want on a light. We have a number of different SKUs, and we get into that. We had a call with regards to the sales part of it last week, but this is really focused on the marketing, the fun part of it. So let's start and go through some of the things that this is about. So with the contest, what we're looking for is traffic, whether that's social media, website traffic, you build funnels. We want you to work within your discipline or stretch yourself and learn from other interns across the country from the marketing standpoint as far as what can be done. And then you'll submit those. You'll submit your ideas, and then you'll submit the results at the end, and then the management team will decide who the winner is, and we're okay with having multiple winners, depending on how things go. So you can submit as many postings as you want. Ideally, you're making your own images on the signs. So if you want an image of Tennessee State, we'll make an image of Tennessee State. If you want an image of a local business in the area that you want to promote or that you have a contact with, we can make that image. But we're going to put together a game plan and then ship you that light, or you can use existing images that InkLights has and promote them. But really, we want you to generate your own ideas with regards to the promotion. Ideally, again, you can do your own, or you can outsource to other influencers out there to get more likes. That's an option. You can do videos, you can do single posts, you can do a number of different things, and then just submit that screenshot to info@inklights.com, and we'll come up with an answer. Desired lessons for the interns. We are licensed with a lot of the NCAA schools already. If you are going after a school and you want to promote inside that school, let's say you're at Notre Dame and you want to go to the marketing department of Notre Dame. Obviously, Notre Dame can advertise anywhere they want to inside of Notre Dame. The big difference comes when we have to look at selling that. Then we got to have the Notre Dame permission to do that outside of Notre Dame. So keep that in mind. But ideally, you're going to be meeting with your brand ambassadors at your college. If you want to get access to the college logo, you can go onto our website, inklights.com, to see which ones are already approved. But just communicate with us on what you want to do, and we'll see if we can get you to where you want to go. All this stuff is remote. You're welcome to come to our office at 2 Elm Street in Braintree to do a video if you'd like to. But I understand that can be prohibitive if you're in Arizona, but we can work with you from that standpoint. But we want people to compare on calls in the future, and Either we'll have them weekly or bi-weekly. We'll send out invitations now that we have your contact information, from the standpoint of ideally you're sharing with other interns across the country as far as their skill set. And I'm impressed with the applicants that we have. We have another webinar coming up on Wednesday, and hopefully you're going to be able to build relationship with other top influencers across the country. So let's get into the steps to success and generate some ideas. So ideally, if you can take your phones off of mute so that you can participate, that would be helpful, because if I can hear from you, then I have a better idea of your questions. But here's some examples that you can think about. So the first step is to set a goal with myself or my assistant Jen, and I'll give you their contact information in the next slide here. But let's take an example of a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-oriented goal. So if my goal is to meet with Sam Smith in the marketing department at Stanford University on November 20th at 9 a.m. to present the InkLights opportunity, that's what we're looking for with regards to a goal that we can then get the image and then ship you the light. That's one example. Again, we're looking for diversity here. Let's say your goal is to present the sample light to Gene Johnson, the president of Johnson & Johnson, on December 5th. I've been in touch with their office and they want to see a sample. Okay, so again, when I'm going through these examples, think of how you're going to design your marketing to accomplish this goal. And you may have to think about it for a few days or see what some of the other interns are doing. And I'll show you some pictures of what we've done to do that. But that's a specific measurable goal. And what we found is that the biggest opportunity are with the business lights. If you get a logo of the Johnson & Johnson logo, there's a big opportunity there that they can spend money on that and purchase the lights, either for promotion or in their buildings. Because the lights we sell, yes, they can have printing on them, or they can be blank, just for replacing their fluorescent lights, because I think that's what you're going to find from the marketing standpoint, is that the goal of marketing is to cause somebody to do action. And you'd be surprised, and one of the best places you can see that is at your own university. If you go around to some of those universities, and probably 80% of the universities out there have not switched from fluorescent lighting to LED lighting. LED lighting uses 75% less energy and lasts 10 to 20 times longer. So these universities know they need to switch out their lights, but they just haven't done that for financial reasons, or it just hasn't come to the top of their list to get something done. We'll get into that, but think about positioning your marketing that makes those people take action. Another possible way to do it is, my goal is to deliver a sample light to Beyonce with their brand logo by November 25th. I've talked with their marketing department and they want to use one of the ink lights in the backdrop of one of their videos. Okay, that's a super goal. It's specific, it's targeted with a big audience. Okay, we print you one of those lights, we ship it out to you, and the first light to you is free. Another example, let's say instead of doing social media, your thing is to do marketing funnels, or to do a landing page. You do website optimization, you're going to create traffic that way. I've had a meeting with the marketing department on November 1st, and a sample presented to the head coach on November 10th. Again, a specific measurable goal. We print the light, we ship you the light, and then you build your marketing program off of that. Another great way to present, rather than using a sample light, is to download some of our images off of Instagram and present that photo with your iPad or your iPhone to business owners. Let's say you know an owner of 20 7-Eleven stores, and they want to sample 7-Eleven light installed. We ship the lights and they install the lights. That's a great marketing target. Your sorority or fraternity wants to do 30 lights and do a promo at the Notre Dame football game. Here's the vector file and $3,000 to buy 30 lights. That's a great goal in target. So again, as I mentioned, you'll get the first light free, but if you want to buy multiple lights, we'll give you them as a discount. Another example here, my mother's law firm wants a bid replacing the fluorescent lights in their office. In Dallas, Texas, 300 lights, 300 blank lights, and 20 printed lights. Here's the vector file and the company logo. Okay, that's a great target. And think about putting a marketing program together for that. And as I mentioned, there can be more than one winner and more than one way to win. While this contest is focused on marketing, if you want to get involved with the sales side, there's a lot of money that can be put forward from that standpoint if you make a sale. So keep that in mind. Are there any questions on that? Anybody have any questions? I can show you some examples here, and maybe that'll help. As far as different lights. So here's a vector file of a computer artist that he did himself, printed the light, just for his own personal interest. That's an example. Here's a light that presented at Purdue to one of the players there for a promotional event. So again, if you can get a celebrity endorsement and put it in different places where that photo gets a lot of likes, that's a great entry from the standpoint of marketing. Here's another display at Purdue University that we did outside the stadium. This is inside the bookstore at Purdue, an example of it being marketed. Here's a sample. This is the Arch in St. Louis. And the thing you'll see when you're using these lights from the standpoint of marketing, that you really have to work with the aperture to get the visual. And we'll show you more of that as we get into the internship. This is outside of K-State. We had again, a marketing sample there. So this could be something, again, views can be physical views. Ideally, from a marketing standpoint, when you put these lights into traffic, whether it's outside the football stadium, inside the college campus, at a restaurant, that's where you get the views. And what we found is, so a 2-foot by 2-foot light like this will cost anywhere from $150 to $250. But once you've made that initial investment, that light will last 10 to 20 years. So as far as a cost per view, if that light is sitting outside of a stadium, again, that light's going to get views for the next 20 years at very little cost. So as far as a cost per view standpoint, it's a very efficient form of marketing. We think it's even more efficient than social media. We just did a sale last week to the U.S. Army. One of our new people, Jen Heffron, and you'll be talking with Jen most likely. Within her first weekend, she put in a contract with the U.S. Army, which will lead her to over a $10,000 commission. So there is big opportunity when you put it together, and really it's just making that connection, and it can lead to some dollars down the road. So you can choose to participate and just learn as an intern. You learn from the other people marketing, or again, there's opportunity to make some pretty good cash if you make the sale. And again, we're looking for sales of multiple lights. If you just sell one light, there's really not going to be any money in it from the standpoint of a commission. But again, that's another example. A good way to display the lights, this is on the back, you see this is a U-line. The cords go in here to hide the cords, and that's a good way to display it. So if you're displaying it as a backdrop, let's say from a social media standpoint, you want to promote yourself. So let's say you're Alan Chan at Rutgers, and you're a visual art professional. And I don't know if Alan is on the call, but if you had a backdrop with your logo behind you, that's a great way to build your brand. So from the marketing intern standpoint, if you're not into sales at all, that's cool. There's no problem with that. But look to build your own brand from the standpoint of creating your own logo. And these slat boards from Uline, it costs about probably $100 to get these boards, depending on how big a board you want. But then you can change these out and really kind of build anything you want to promote yourself or your sphere or business that you go after to promote the business. But that's a good way to display the product, and I've shown you a couple other ways to display it. This is a fan cave. Again, to display your favorite team or your favorite art or your business, however you want to do it. It's just a cool image to put in a place where it's not only going to be marketing during the day, but also marketed 24 hours a day. You want to go after the movie industry from a promotional standpoint, that's another opportunity that you can go after. It's just endless as far as who you can promote, and all those doors are open because this is really kind of a new adventure, and that's why this group, this internship, is important, in that we want your ideas from the standpoint of, hey, this is working, this is not working, and share that with the group, and everybody will learn. The other cool thing about these lights is that they'll work in an automobile or recreational vehicle. They're not approved for when the vehicle is in motion, but if you plug them into the car, they're mobile. That's a whole new market. So car dealerships, we're talking to Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, another whole market to explore, which is pretty cool. Real estate offices, again, 24/7 marketing of real estate, a huge market. So if you know someone in the real estate business, again, a good logo to go after, and again, connecting with people that have influence. Realtors have a lot of connections, a great connection to line up, to promote the brand, to win the contest. Leverage your relationships and look for relationships that you can leverage. Again, the biggest sell is the 75% less energy. If you approach your school, again, probably 80% of the schools out there have not changed over from fluorescents to LEDs. If you can design a marketing ad that is targeted to your school, that gets them to move, and again, it's amazing that, again, the colleges that, you know, want to be in the green movement and the green environment, that they have all this fluorescent lighting that needs to be changed out, and you personally can be the impetus to make that change. If you want to make a difference, this is your opportunity to make the difference. And it doesn't matter if you're in Michigan State or Tennessee Tech. You can make a difference by having those lights changed out. And not only can you make a difference, but you can make some money. And that's why we need your participation. You know, we want you to speak up. We want you to participate. Yes, you can learn as an intern, but, you know, we want you to be able to make a difference. These lights can go in the front of the desk. This is an example of a 2-foot by 4-foot. So this particular light here, a custom print like this is going to be around $300 to $350. If we do them in high volume, we can bring that cost down. Again, a 2-foot by 2-foot, depending on the volume, what the image is, what the opportunity is. The cost for that delivered to your door, again, from the intern, we're going to have that cost. That first one is free, and ones after that will only cost the 2 foot by 2 foot. We can do for $100. But there's really 1,000 different kinds of lights. We want to keep it to like 4, the 2 foot, the 4 foot, and we have a smaller version that you'll see here too. Again, this is another sample of a mobile unit where you put the light, and then you can really put any image you want on there. And these smaller lights, the size of a piece of paper, 8 by 12, this is interchangeable on what you can put in there. Where these other ones, these are more fixed. This is the back of the light. This is a more expensive model where the back is flat. When you get a sample, you may have what they call a driver on the back that sticks out. But if they're going to go into on the wall, it's going to be flat like this. If it's in the ceiling, again, it's just a different model, but it's less expensive. This is how they hook. Again, you can really just hook them on different things. Again, from a marketing standpoint, ideally we want to be targeting companies that have a lot of room to run. So like, you know, Burger King, I mean, you name it. From that standpoint, there's tons of different opportunities. Another thing is the amount of light emitted through them. The best lighting from an office standpoint mimics the natural light. That's 4,000 Kelvin. And again, that's more provided for light. If you want it more for art, we're going to add more ink to it and less light is going to come through, but we have some great stained glass images. It's really any image you want, any image you create, we can print it. But that will determine the amount of light in the room. So that's something we go through in the goal setting and coaching session is, okay, what do you want? Where are you going to put it? These are the same conversations that you'd have with a business owner or anybody that you're posting for is, what's your goal? Where do you want to take it? Are you doing it for art? Are you doing it for marketing? Are you doing it for lighting? All are taken into consideration when we send out the lights. Restaurants, again, a great target. Again, different lighting for the ceiling versus different lighting for the wall. You see the sample of the Uline slat boards here. We can tell you how to order these. Again, they are shipped to you. The lights are shipped to you. That's what makes this remote internship so cool. Is you can be, we're saying anywhere in the United States right now, but you know, literally it can be anywhere in the world. Another sample, convenience store. So this is what you're looking for from the standpoint of the old lighting, these egg crate lighting. So again, this store is wasting 75% of their energy for every minute that those lights are on. If you see those in your school, you know you have a customer. It's a matter of what kind of marketing are you going to put together, who are you going to talk to, what team are you going to pull together to get this lighting changed out from this to this. That's the goal of your marketing campaign from an effectiveness standpoint. But again, maybe you just want to use the lights as a backdrop in your video with your logo on there, or the influencer that you found with that influencer's logo to have in there to create the high amount of social media views. And all we're looking for in the marketing is that you mention ink lights, whether it's a hashtag or whatever. That's what we're looking for. So the ad doesn't have to be about ink lights. It could be about Sally Superstar that has Sally Superstar's logo in the back, and there's just a mention of ink lights in the hashtag. That's good enough for a submission. Again, this is our office here in Braintree that you're welcome to schedule an appointment for. Come visit us anytime. Again, a client, Buc-ee's, has 50 stores in the Midwest. We're doing them. Again, a great sample of what we do. We also have a contract with Shutterstock. Shutterstock has 250 million licensed images that we can use. You can see that on the website. So whether you want to submit your own image or choose one of Shutterstock's, all that's available to you. This is not one of our arrays, but again, a friend of mine just sent me this image of a movie theater in Chicago, in Lincoln Park. But a great example of using a lit array to draw attention at a very low cost. Great example. Another example, this is inside of the Kansas State bookstore where we're at. And through our partner in Chicago, Tom Thielen, which you'll be introduced to him when you get to the production stage. They can do a lot of different things, from the wall posters to exterior signage. This signage that we have is mainly for interior signage, interior general purpose lighting. But we can do exterior lighting. We can do about anything you want from the standpoint of bidding it and put it together. So keep that in mind. Schools are just such a great target now. You can put educational material, really anything that the school wants to promote, we can put together and get it out there. Any type of artwork. And the thing is, you can see this from so much further away when it's lit up. So maybe you do a viral type marketing campaign. And I think of Horsetooth Mountain in Fort Collins. If you've been there, it's a mountainside that's like 7 miles from the campus. If you can imagine an array of, let's say, 10 lights put together on the side of that mountaintop with the Colorado State logo on it, do you think that image is going to make the front page of every social media outlet in Fort Collins? It's because no one else has done it, and it's just great promotion of your college. So think of viral ways that you can use these lights, whether it's one light or you put 10 lights together to create an image to promote your brand, your school, your team, whatever you want to do. This is, again, another array we put together at the Water Tower Place in Chicago to demonstrate the different type of things we can put together. So there's a million ways to do it. We want you to do it your way, and we want to work with you to get you where you want to go. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell. Is there any questions? You should be able to unmute your phone if you have any questions. Here's a question. I'm looking for questions here. What department should I reach out to at my university about what kind of lights we use? What department should I reach out to my university about what kind of lights we use? What we're looking is if you start with the marketing department, if you want to get the use of the Notre Dame logo, you go to the marketing department and say, I'm an intern. We're looking to promote Notre Dame. Again, ideally, you download pictures from your Instagram account and say, here's the account. Here's my idea. You know, I went down to the girls' hockey arena, and I see there's fluorescent lights all along that corridor there that we could replace, and my team will help you with that. So what you would do is you would take pictures of what's there. You send that to either myself or there's another contact on the list, Guy Greco, and we'll give you some advice on where to take it from there. What we're looking for you from the marketing standpoint is to create the you know, the marketing videos, the content. If you want to get paid on the sale, and that's where the big money is, that's how you do it. You take a picture of what you want done, and then we'll help you do the bid. We'll take care of the install. We want you to help with the sale and the marketing. We'll do all the heavy lifting and take it from there. Another question, can schools partner with Inklights to sell lights in the bookstore and then make money off it? Yes, that's what we're doing at Kansas State, Iowa State, Marquette, Purdue. The bookstores are a great outlet for us, but when we go that route, we have to get further approval from the school. So we're more than happy to go in there, bid that, show them how that works. We have samples out there. So that's definitely something we can put together. And that's kind of the way the internship works, is this contest is very peripheral. You don't have to be an intern. You can do it as long as you want. And you can make $1,000 if you do a really good job at marketing. Very peripheral. You can, from an intern standpoint, you can just join the conference calls and just learn from the other students. Or if you want to take it to the next step to become an intern from the sales standpoint, that's a whole nother phone call. We had a phone call on that last week, but there's some large upside as far as the money you can make. And basically it's a commission sales type position, ranging from anywhere from 5 to 10% of the sale, depending on the situation. And again, we want, in order to make money, it has to be bulk sales, more than 10%, more than 10 lights. That's what we're looking for. Another question here. I heard you say earlier something about interchangeable. Do you mean the lights are able to be interchanged to different designs? Yes. So especially the smaller ones are more interchangeable. The size of the piece of paper, 8 by 12, that can be interchanged. So let's say they want a picture of the fall, the winter, the summer, the spring. They want a picture of the lacrosse team, the basketball team. So they can be interchanged, where you keep the light and do a different image. So, so those are interchangeable. The big ones are, we can do anything, but the more bells and whistles you have, the higher the price of the light. We're starting out with a base model. If you want them to be interchangeable or snap frames, they probably cost 30 to 40% more, but that's another option. I can't unmute myself, but once I get my school on board, how do I get in contact with you, or how do I get in contact, the contract set in motion? I'll come back to another slide with all the contact information here. Also, are these photos examples that you show in the presentation available somewhere I can show possible clients so to see Inklights in action? If you go to Instagram, Inklights, there's a lot of great examples there. If you email me at info@Inklights, we'll email you some samples that you can use. You'll get a copy of this video where you'll see all the samples of everything that I just went through. Good question. How would commission work if I get my school to sell Inklights in their bookstore? We can get into that. Again, it depends on the school. The thing is we have again, like I said, a very diverse group. And that's what we want. There's a good possibility that if you are the contact for the intern for Inklights at the College of St. Benedict in St. Joseph, Minnesota, that you're our only person there. So if you can grow the sales inside of the College of St. Benedict, we're going to know who's been doing that, and we can compensate you for that. So that's more down the sales side, and a whole nother call that we can get into. So that's all the questions I see. So Chris, I see you. I don't know if you had a, like say, it looks like you're muted on your phone. From that standpoint. So let's get into the context here. Okay, so we talked about the goals that you can put together depending on what you want to target. And I'm saying, think about that. Think about who you want to approach and how you want to do it. Email your plan to jenheron@gmail.com. Once we get your plan approved, okay, then you're going to send your vector file to Tom Thielen at Corporate ID Solutions. Vector file is usually what logos come in as far as a high density file. That's what we're looking for. So it's garbage in, garbage out. We got to have a high quality image. One of our toughest things to deal with is someone sends us a photograph of their dog, and they want a picture of their dog, and it's not a high density photograph. That's not really a good target for us because it's a one-off. The image is poor, and it takes a lot of time to render that, if we could render that at all. Anybody? Again, I've got quite a few graphics people on this call. You understand what I'm talking about. The ideal vector file we want is a logo of the college. A lot of them, we already have access to, but once we get that image, then we can print you a clean light and ship you that light. So you tell us where you want to ship it, and then we follow up with the results to see how everything went. As I mentioned, for if you get a job bid or estimate, you have my email. This is my cell phone, and the guy Greco goes out, and he'll do a lot of the bidding depending on what type of light it is, what type of lights the college wants, what their goal is. We'll help that, and you'll be involved with that process. Each situation is unique, though. So the first light for the contest, and again, you can start the contest today by going out on the Instagram or creating something your own, and put something together. We'll ship you your first one free. Each additional light that you want beyond that is we're going to charge you $100 against future commissions. Okay, and we can get into that. So you don't have to pay. You don't have to come up with $100 out of your pocket. But we just don't want people ordering light after light after light, and it not leading to anything positive. But let's say that that you again you're a sorority and you want 30 lights for that college game, and you say, I don't want to deal with the process. I'm just going to buy 30 of them at the discounted price of $100 instead of the $200 or $250 cost. We want you to get out there to promote. We'll give you a great deal on it. We want to make it happen. So let us know what you need, and we'll work with you to get you where you want to go. So that's the contact information. I don't know if there are any other questions. Hi, can you go over the affiliate link in more detail on how that works? Okay, that's a great question. So we're putting that together right now. The way that works is you build a landing page. And let's say you're a computer guru, and you create KansasStateInkLights.com, and you're sending your traffic to KansasStateInkLights.com, and they go to your site and register. We can create, and we're working on it right now with our IT team, that if they go from your landing page to our site, we can track that and pay you a commission. So that's kind of where we want to take it. We're not there yet, but that's how the affiliate link would work. That's the way it works for Shutterstock, our partner. If you submit an image to Shutterstock, you know, you can earn commissions when that sells. That's how the affiliate link is working. We should have that in the next, I'm going to say in the next couple months. It may be sooner than that. Can you also go further into, can you also go further than our own schools like the surrounding area? Definitely. There are no territories. There are no territories right now. Again, this is a new initiative. You are the point of the spear, which is kind of cool. That's why your feedback is so important on what you need and what you want. But we want you to branch out. If you know of a marketing target in Cleveland you want to go after Cleveland, because again, we're going to ship the lights there. There is no territory, there's no limits to where you can go. But let us know. That's why we want you to let us know who you're targeting so that we can give you credit with this success. That's why the goal setting is so important, that we can keep track of who's doing what, who's going after what, and how we can support you. Again, each individual situation is different. How would commission work if I do get my school to sell? Okay, I think we covered all the questions. That's really all I have. I have a sample now, if you can see behind me, the way I have, you know, again, this is like a backdrop from that standpoint. I can't see it on my screen here, but that just gives you an example of how that can come together. So with that, we'll end it. And I look forward to meet you down the road, and email us with any questions that you have. Thank you for your time.